Gives me once again great pleasure to announce the Namibian team to play Uruguay. Number 1, Jason Bernarde. Torsten van Jaarsveld, vice-captain. Number 3, Allister Coetzee. Number 4, Adrian Ludik. Number 5, Tian de Klerk. Number 6, Prince Goasep. Number 7, Chewy Waniwi. Number 8, Richard Hardwick. Number 9, Damien Stevens. 10, Tian Swanepoel. Number 11, JC Greiling. Number 12, Danko Berger. 13, Alkino Isaacs. Number 14, Gershon Mouton. 15, Cleven Loopse. Reserves are Louis van der Westhuizen, 16. 17, Desiderius Setti. Number 18, Itembu Shikufa. Number 19, PJ van Lille, Pieter Jan van Lille. Number 20, Max Kachicheko. 21, Adrian Boysen. 22, Jacques Theron. And 23, Andre van der Berg. That is the team for the final game.
You just talk us through the changes to the team and decision of why you chose this man to be your captain.
Yes, obviously, as you all know, that our captain was red-carded against France. Unfortunate sort of situation, and I'm sure you'd have loved to be captaining the last game, but I've got no doubt in my mind that Chewy would do a great job. He's been captain before. He's part of the leadership group, and he's an experienced player. I'd like to think with the support of the other leaders, Chewy will do an outstanding job for us. Chewy has applied his trade in France, so it's not new for him at all. The other changes are injury-enforced changes, obviously. It's tough to play 4 matches in 18 days. So for any tier 2 country where you don't have a lot of depth in your squad, it is really a challenge. But I must say, our players have really, stepped up, and I'll call them warriors, because it's really not easy. You hear teams getting 12 days, 13 days, 2 weeks off to the next game. But this is our 4th game, final game, playing against a quality Uruguay side this weekend, and it'll only be their 3rd day. But we've prepared well, and I'm looking forward to the game.
Given the injuries, the schedule, and then looking back 4 years ago, the typhoon that caused the game against Canada to be called off, and I think 4 years before that, the 1-point loss to Georgia. Does it feel like maybe the World Cup owes you something, and you can get that win on Wednesday, that first win?
I'd like to, it's an old cliche, and it's been used by one of South Africa's best golfers, Gary Player. Says you make your own luck. We've prepared well this week. Like I said, we're playing really against a quality side, and they've showed it. It is up to us, and how we want to finish this one. The players know that a game like this, and what a win means for the country, it can change a lot. So, we'll pitch up tomorrow. Definitely, it's important for us to get over that final hurdle. There's a lot at stake for us, irrespective of the injury situation, irrespective of the challenges that we faced, and we have to pitch up tomorrow night.
Could you talk a little bit about the player pool that you had to choose from for this squad? I understand is it maybe around 400 players in the country or representing the country who you can choose from? Is that right? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it is definitely less than 1,000. I'm not, registered players in Namibia, less than 1,000. Look, the big thing for me about Namibian rugby is the lack of competition. You cannot rely on club rugby only, and then you play bit in Africa, and then you want to make a step up to the world stage. So things are happening at the moment. The club players played in the Mzansi Cup, which is a second division Currie Cup, which is a good thing. Then we definitely need more international games against European teams. And if you look at the last couple of years, how Georgia picked up, how the teams in South America picked up, teams like Portugal and Spain, for that matter, also, it's because they play regularly, against each other, almost like a mini or a B division, Six Nation type of thing, but it's on a regular basis. Whereas we probably play Tier 2 nation in a World Cup, and maybe the next World Cup, after 4 years, you get an opportunity to play against Tier 2 nations again. And I'm sure that is something that World Rugby will address. And that is needed for us to not individually grow as players, but as a team as well.
And just I'll hand over to my colleagues here, but just how have you been keeping, or how have the management team been keeping up morale in the squad? Obviously, these tough 2 matches you've had, the last 2. What have you been doing off the pitch, perhaps, to... you've been going out for big meals, you've been seeing any of the sites, doing anything just to, put a smile on everyone's face? Yeah, look, I think the players have been instrumental in making sure there's energy, at our training sessions. Off-field, there's hardly any time, really. We try to give some off time, but the travel also takes a lot out of the players. The day after every match, you've got to travel to your home base again. And then you've got, which we enjoyed a lot, is the community activations that we've had. With the community, something great. And the thing about regrouping and getting back on task again is about having clarity in your plan. And I think with our leadership and our regular engagements, we could get to the next plan and the next job, and move on. We're here to play Uruguay on Wednesday night, which has been, a long way coming. That the final game will probably be the most important game for us in this World Cup. But we've had dinner out, sort of dinners out and various places, and we've enjoyed Ex-Labar very, very much, like I say. But it would have been nice to really experience, a place like Lyon, which I believe has got probably some of the best food around and restaurants around. But, we had to do a job.
Thanks. Maybe just a question for Tui first. Just leading up to the game, or let's say looking at Wednesday's game, firstly on a personal note, just maybe thoughts on captaining your country in an important game like this, and secondly, just the dynamics that you put to the team for them to be really at their peak for Wednesday. So maybe just the thoughts in the team dynamics.
First of all, it's a great honor to captain my country, and to prepare the team for a game like this, I think it's a little bit easier, especially after the 2 tough games. I think we feel like we've got a debt to pay to our country and to put on a performance. So the boys are really looking forward to playing this game. It's an opposition we've faced before, so it's a bit familiar. So that's the easy part.
And as the team as well, a team member, short turnaround, like Coach mentioned, many games in 18 days. Short turnarounds, becomes it a bit more mental in those times, or is it enough time for physical stuff on the practice field?
For the old boys like me, it's it's tough on the body, but the mental aspect is really big. Like playing those tough games, but still trying to pick up some positives and stuff you can grow leading up to the final game, which you can put all together. So definitely the mental part, quite a big challenge as well.
Just a question for Coach. It's just Namibia played Uruguay about a month ago, roughly, in that warm-up game. It was a close one, 2 points, I think. What you've seen in the game so far, probably the Italy one will help you the most. Probably our first half, what they do on attack, and second half, how you can score against them. Did that help to, or did things change a lot from what you've seen in the warm-up game to what you've seen against Italy, for instance?
Look, the equality side, and we've played against them a month or two ago. I think there was a 6 to 8 point difference in the match, but they've got a good set piece, very strong set piece, very disruptive, more defence. Now in for a tough one. They've got the best possible team available. It's only their third match. So, we will have to be at our best. They've got an open style of running, and they like to use the ball. So defensively, we will have to be accurate. Set piece wise, we will have to scrum well, get our line out ball. I think when we got into the opposition 22, a lot of times with ball in hand, we really applied pressure, really good pressure, but it's just that final ruck where we turned it over, one pass which we couldn't make to score, The big thing about this is it's anyone's game. If we pitch up and we play to the best of our ability, we could put them under pressure. We've looked at where we can put them under pressure. I'm sure our tactics for this game would definitely be spot on, no doubt about it. And got a good ref also reffing the game, and Matthew Reynal, experienced referee. So there's no pressure on the boys, really. There's no pressure on us. I'd like us to come out and execute what we've trained.
In a game like Wednesday, maybe, I respect you can't give too much away on how you're going to play, but maybe taking 3 points when on offer a bit of a different approach to playing against the All Blacks in France, where it was mostly going for the corners.
Yeah, look, it is test match rugby after all, so the approach will be the same. We've got to build scoreboard pressure. You'll have to start better than before and build scoreboard pressure. And guys understand, when you want to go for poles and when you want to go for touch. I think it's about really taking opportunities and being accurate and executing. The thing is in any rugby game, there's ebbs and flows, or then you've got the momentum and then it's taken away and then they've got the momentum. It's about how we can get the momentum back and keep punching, for big parts of the game. So, and I'm sure it will happen again tomorrow. We will have the momentum and it will go away, but how quickly we can get it back and keep applying scoreboard pressure, that at the end of the day would be the difference between winning and losing.
Last question. We know it's almost heartbreaking what happened with Johan Dijssel, so that's stuff I respect for him personally. Is he allowed to be at least in Lyon or close to the stadium, or in the stadium and close to the team, or is regulations that he needs to go back
yes,
part
of course,
the system?
He's allowed to be part of the team still, until he's hearing. So he's doing his job as a leader, has been supporting the leadership group, and it's great to have him around. And I think it's something as a group we owe to him, and in a way a positive result would, sort of just deflect that in a way, his red card type of thing, and the focus would be on our performance. I think that is one objective we want to achieve as well, and make sure that we actually soften that red card blow.
It's a question for the coach. You say that there's no pressure in this particular match, but there was no pressure in the other matches as well. When do you think Namibian rugby can get to the point where there is pressure on them, and what will it take to get to that point?
Winning to win a test match, obviously there's pressure to win it, you understand, because it's a test. You'll be tested in every aspect of the game. But look, we don't want to think too much about it, you know, about the end result. I think we're following processes where we want to make sure that, you know, our possession, where we get possession from, you know, those aspects of the game are working, and how we use the possession. And I'm sure when we get that right for most of the time in the game, so for longer periods, the result will come. So I don't think about, you know, the outcome, the win. It's about really getting those winning the small battles and getting those kind of things right. Scrum well, win your line out ball, maul well, stop mauls well, defend well, get in the right areas to score points. Those are how we can put pressure on them with ball and apply pressure without ball. So that is the things we're looking at. And if you do that right most of the time, I'm sure the points will be on the board and the result will come.
I'll follow this up one. Often the questions are about how the players are doing, what the players are learning. What have you been learning as coach of this group, and has it changed your approach to coaching?
No, definitely not. I think the approach will always be the same. I enjoy working with guys that can fight, that they can hang in, and guys never give up, you know, whatever the challenge, how big it might be, but always give their best, you know. So it is a group that I really enjoyed working with. There's no airs about it. All humble guys. They get out and get stuck into it, you know. I think planning for a World Cup shouldn't happen 2 years before the time, and just qualify, and then you hang in, and that's it, you know. Obviously, we'll go back and review the World Cup preparation, and it should start immediately after this World Cup for the next one. And hopefully there will be intervention long before the next one starts in 2027. And we will have to look at a serious high-performance plan, which is not just on paper, but implement that as early as possible. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Do you need to put the seat up a little bit?
No, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So I'm a bit shy in front of everyone.
Damien, just you didn't play the previous game. Sitting out one game and having a big game like this, a big motivation for you?
Yeah, I know. We as a team, we understand what the coaches want from us, and when it comes to the team selection and stuff. So yeah, obviously in this game, playing against Uruguay, it's a big game for us as a nation. So of course, very motivated to run out on the stadium on Wednesday night and represent my country and represent the brothers that I have next to me.
Thanks. And you played against France. That was a big game. And in the midfield, just your combination with Danko. Have you played there before with him, or just how's that combination?
Yes, Danko and I have played together against the Bulls, actually. We did quite well. I think we're a good midfield combination, and I can't wait to see what we do on Wednesday.
And lessons from playing against France, things one can pick up maybe more mentally sometimes as well in playing. You know, they can't get any bigger, I suppose. Now you play against Uruguay.
Yes, I definitely think there's a lot to learn from the France game. They had a great tempo, and we can really learn from that because, as Coach said, we are tier 2 nation. We don't get a lot of international games, but when we do, we really stick in it and fight until the very end.
Tian, just the experience that you got from playing at the Bulls and at the Pumas, but maybe that season, that process at the Bulls, just preparing you for the next step. How was that helpful for you?
Yeah, no, it was very good. You can always learn a lot from the guys that was there, playing there, from Ron Nokia as well, from being in the squad here with Namibia, learning from Chewy. You can always learn more from the older guys, just mentally as well, to calm you down, don't get too nervous, settle down, stick to the process, trust the system, and everything will work out.
And lineouts, doing the calls, and maybe just our system of lineouts, obviously important part, comfortable in combination with Torsten as well?
Yeah, no, 100%. We've been working with our lineouts, getting the right calls in the right section of the fields. So we know we need to execute our the lineout and the scrum set piece pressure. So we've been working on it.
Just a quick, why are you so shy?
Why am I so shy? No one's asking any questions.
Just experience-wise, we're talking about exposure at the Bulls. Obviously, you played a lot in Australia and that franchise level. Intensity and speed, anything you're more used to it maybe. Anything you can help in preparation with a team leading on to what they can expect?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I said, coming from a different background, a lot of guys are playing in France or in the US or back home in Windhoek. But being able to play against a lot of the Kiwi teams, sort of had a better understanding of how they were going to come. They're going to come with tempo. But the coaching staff have been really great at telling the guys what's coming, showing us great pictures so that when we get on the field, that there's nothing really new that comes, maybe one or two things that they're going to change, that they want to attack us with. But more so from my experience, I've just been helping guys just approach the game in a certain way. Some guys have never played late game, like the last two games played at 9 o'clock at night. That's quite challenging in itself. A lot of guys want to think about the game all day, but that's not what you want to do. You want to sort of take your mind off the game and then approach the game closer to the time, getting your food right, the way that you prep throughout the week. So sort of just giving little experiences that I've picked up over the way, the hard way, just adding my value that I can there. There's some great leaders. I mean, Chewy's been fantastic for a lot of the guys. Torsten is unreal. Buffy as well. So there's a lot of great leaders in our team that have a lot of experience in this arena with the World Cup that I've learned from. So it's been an awesome experience for me, learning as well as being able to share some of the knowledge that I've learned over the last 7 years of Super.
Just last question for Tian, maybe on a personal level. When remember you left Windhoek VS to Pretoria around about age 15, 16. The dream feels like a bit of a full circle for you when you left Windhoek then. Did you think that you're going to be playing World Cup for them again this early?
Yeah, no, when I left Windhoek for school in South Africa, my dream was to pursue my rugby career. And while I'm sitting here now, it's just a great privilege to represent my country at the young age that I am. And I'm just putting in the hard work, backing my brothers to do everything on the field that I expect from me.
Question for Alcino. Sorry, I hope I pronounced that right. Could you tell us a little bit about your life, I suppose? I understand would it be all right to say you're a semi-professional rugby player, maybe? Or you play back home in Namibia. How does it work back home? What's the club structure like? And what is club rugby life like back home in Namibia?
Well, firstly, the Namibian rugby isn't really professional there. So it's more about enjoyment and for the love of the game. You get guys coming from straight out of school into the rugby system there. So it's a bit of a struggle here and there with few clubs. We only have about 5 top teams that compete in the league. So not a lot of rugby throughout the year. So it's a bit challenging to get the competition as high because of the number of players as well. But at the end of the day, everyone does it for the love of the game, and they really come out every weekend firing. Every game is like a derby game in Namibia.
And what's your day job?
Well, my dad and I, we run our own business, so yeah.
And training happens when? In a typical week, when are you training?
So a typical week will have gym in the mornings at around, let's say if you have a 8 to 5, then you'd come 6-ish to gym, and most of the guys after training will start at 6 in the afternoon. So most guys try and get there before that time, depending on work schedules, obviously.
And then in the club itself, is everyone kind of helping out, volunteering, doing a lot of the jobs that need doing together, you know, as opposed to perhaps in professional clubs where there are people whose job that is?
Yeah, at professional level, obviously you have guys that have to do their jobs, assigned jobs, and club level. When it comes to Namibian clubs, everybody has to pull their weight. You help up where you need it, especially if you're on a senior level, especially helping the young kids, like I said, coming through the school systems. So you give a hand where you really need it, and everybody tries and help out as much as possible.
You wash the kit? Or
excuse me?
do you wash the kit?
Oh, no. Luckily, there are some things that get taken care of for us.
Very good. And am I right, there's about 10 of the squad who play in Namibia?
Yeah, that's about correct.
And some of them, do you just share what their day jobs are?
Oh, I wouldn't fully know what their day jobs are. I think a few of them, maybe like accountants, insurance brokers, and yeah, and bankers.
Maybe not the front row and not the accountant.
I wouldn't know. Well,
Some of the smartest ones, eh?
Seti plays with me, so I know his day job, but he's into the sports.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And Damien, quick question for you: Have you been enjoying this experience, and what have been some of the highs? You know, just of the experience as a whole, your time as a World Cup player.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually very great to see how crazy the France people are about their rugby. It's definitely a new experience for me. And yeah, I think just obviously being my third World Cup, it's great to see how we as a team has grown throughout this whole process, whether it's not been easy on the field, but just how the boys learn, how we grow every day in training. So yeah, as Coach said earlier, we have a short turnaround, so we can't really do much as a team. So for us, the exciting part is getting to training and see how much we can improve. So hopefully we can show that on Wednesday.
Aix-les-Bains, beautiful place. Have you been swimming in the lakes there or anything like that?
Yeah, when we got here at the start, I think there was like 2 Sundays where we were off, and then got the bicycles from the hotel, drove down to the lake, got to swim in the lake for a bit. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. But it's a very beautiful town, very nice mountains, beautiful lake. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. And Richard, just a quick one. Moving to Ealing Trailfinders, and Sam, what was the thinking? What was it that attracted you about that project?
Look, I've been in Australia for a while now, and I've been fortunate enough to represent my country here for Namibia. So it was sort of, it was the right time to move on. I've given a lot to Australian rugby, and now I wanted to sort of move a little bit closer to Namibia, get new experiences. I think I can bring a lot of value to Ealing. They're very keen to move up and pursue a higher level. So I think I can help in that pursuit. And I really like new challenges. I don't like just being stagnated and just doing the same old stuff. I feel like I need to get better and challenge myself a little bit. And so that was sort of a big part there. My wife has family over there, so that was another big part. And look, I think the opportunity to travel, see the world is another part, but for the most part it's to get better and have a different style of rugby, test myself with a new bunch of players, and I just want to keep improving and see what I can do. So yeah, I'm really excited for that opportunity. But for me, my focus has been this World Cup, playing the games, and the next game is the most important game for us. So that's really the only thing on my mind at the moment.
Anyone else? Are we done?
All good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lekker gaming chair.